What are these surpluses? Please explain.
The concepts of consumer surplus and producer surplus help us to measure the benefit the buyers and suppliers derive in a competitive market from a product. Let's first start with a consumer surplus. Consumer surplus, the amount that buyers are willing to pay for a good minus the amount they actually pay for it. It measures how much the buyer values the good or service. The market demand curve depicts the various quantities that buyers would be willing and be able to purchase at different prices. The area below the demand curve and above the equilibrium price measures the consumer surplus in the market.
Not clear. Can you please explain through a practical example?
Sure. Let's start from buyer's willingness to pay. Willingness to pay price is the maximum that a buyer will pay to buy a product. In other words, he will not buy any fan if the price is even slightly higher. At that price, he may like to purchase only one fan. He will be happier if the prices are lower than his maximum price, that is, his willingness to pay price. Consider the table fans market. Listed above is the amount that 4 individuals, Jack, Paul, Gray, and Robert in the town are willing to pay for fans. Let's assume $100 is Jack's willingness to pay. $80 is Paul's willingness to pay. $60 is Gray's willingness to pay. And $40 is Robert's willingness to pay. For a price more than $100, none of the buyers are ready to buy, as this price is much higher than willingness to pay of any of the buyer, as a result of which quantity demanded is 0. For the price range between $80 to $100, only Jack is ready to buy and the quantity demanded is 1. For the price range between $60 to $80, both Jack and Paul are ready to buy and the quantity demanded is 2. For the price range between $40 to $60, Jack, Paul, and Gray are ready to buy and the quantity demanded is 3. For the price less than $40, all the buyers, Jack, Paul, Gray, and Robert are ready to buy and the quantity demanded is 4. Let's now measure the consumer surplus at each price point of demand curve. In the above graph, we can see that at the price point of $80, the consumer surplus for Jack is $20. That is, willingness to pay price minus actual price, which is 100 minus 80, results in $20. As the prices decrease, the consumer surplus increases because of the greater perceived value to the existing customers and also because of addition of new customers whose threshold is now above the price. Let's now find out total consumer surplus at price point of $60. The consumer surplus for Jack is $40. That is, willingness to pay price minus actual price, which is $100 minus $60, results in $40. The consumer surplus for Paul is $20. That is, willingness to pay price minus actual price, which is $80 minus $60, results in $20. So, the total consumer surplus at price point of $60 is $40 plus $20, results in $60. Let's now find out total consumer surplus at price point of $40. The consumer surplus for Jack is $60. That is, willingness to pay price minus actual price, which is $100 minus $40, which results in $60. The consumer surplus for Paul is $40. That is, willingness to pay price minus actual price, which is $80 minus $40, which results in $40. The consumer surplus for Gray is $20. That is, willingness to pay price minus actual price, which is $60 minus $40, which results in $20. So, the total consumer surplus at price point of $40 is $60 plus $40 plus $20 totals to $120.
Got it. So, we are saying that as prices declines, consumer surplus increases. Can you please generalize this discussion by mapping consumer surplus on generic demand curve that we are so familiar with?
Sure. Below is the typical demand curve with equilibrium price and quantity at P1 and Q1 respectively. Consumer surplus is the area above the price and below the demand curve. In other words, consumer surplus at a price of P1 is the area of a triangle ABC. Now, suppose if the price decreases from point 1 to point 2, the consumer surplus now equals area ADF. The increase in consumer surplus attributable to the lower price is the area BCFD. The triangle ABC represents the initial consumer surplus. The triangle CEF represents the consumer surplus to a new consumer. The rectangle BDEC represents the additional consumer surplus to initial consumer.